So before this video gets started, if you are an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, or a gig worker and you want paid time off, if you want paid time off, sick leave, you want protection if you get into accidents, if you want income protection, if you want protection if you ever get deactivated, hospitalized, if you ever do get deactivated and you want your account back as well, there's a brand new company that just launched and they got $1.6 million in funding. They're doing same day cash transfers to drivers, to gig workers for, you know, paid time off, all that stuff. If you want that, the company's called Cover. And if you use my link down below, you get 30 days for free. It does start at $7 a month. But again, if you use my link, you get 30 days for free. No commitments, no annual contracts. You can cancel and pause at any time. At least check it out. At least click my link down below and accept that gift of 30 days for free. And now let's get on to the video. Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. My name's Dylan. Thank you so much for coming by. So this is a very very highly requested topic that I've been receiving is what kind of rideshare insurance do you need to have as a driver? What kind of insurance do you need at all as a driver? And what companies offer good rideshare insurance? So that's what I'm gonna be focusing today's video on. I've done my fair share of research, and while I am not a insurance provider, I'm not a financial certified public accountant, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know what kind of disclaimers I need to give you, but do not take this as legal advice. I'm gonna tell, how about this? I'll tell you what I do as a rideshare driver, and that'll tell you also, I'll just tell you, quick disclaimer, do not take this as legal advice, but I'm gonna tell you what kind of insurance a typical Uber driver or Lyft driver should think about getting. There we go, that's the correct way of phrasing it, so you guys can't get at me later. So as an Uber and a Lyft driver, by the way, give this video a big thumbs up, please, because it took me a lot of time to do all this research, and I'm gonna try to compile it to you, hours of research into 5 to 10 minute video. As an Uber and a Lyft driver, there's a couple things I need to explain. You are transporting people in exchange for money. When it comes down to it, that's what you're doing, right? Joe gets in your car, Joe Schmo gets in your car, Lisa, whatever their name is. They give you $20, right? You take them to In-N-Out, whatever it is. They take you to a restaurant. You pay Uber and Lyft a fee. That's how it works. If you look at your tax summary at the end of the year, that's the way it's set up, and I recommend you look at your end of the year tax summary. Uber, the way they have it set up is the money that comes in, the money that the rider pays goes to the driver, the full amount, and then the driver pays Uber and Lyft. So Uber and Lyft take a fee, take a cut. So the reason the way that's important for insurance reasons is because when you have a normal driver's license, I was gonna show you mine, but I don't wanna give you my driver's license number for obvious reasons. When you go to the DMV and get your driver's license, you're getting a normal driver's license, not a commercial license. Your license allows you, sorry, I should say your normal typical driver's license does not allow you to transport people for money. Why is that important? Because if you're driving somebody in exchange for money, let's say you go on Facebook and you say, hey, does anybody need a ride? I'll charge you 50 bucks and I'll take you to the airport. Okay, cool. You get the 50 bucks, that person gets in your car, you get into an accident, that person gets injured, or your car, no, not even that, let's say that person's totally fine. You get into a fender bender, you hit the person in front of you, ding it, they drive a brand new Lexus, it costs $10,000 to repair. Typically your insurance would cover that accident, right? This is all related, by the way, guys. This is really, really important to understand. It took me a while to understand this concept, but once you do, you understand the liabilities of having rideshare insurance. So if you're driving somebody in the back, you know, 50 bucks cash, not Uber or Lyft, and you hit a Lexus, your insurance does not cover that because you have somebody's paying you, and your normal insurance that you have through Geico or Allstate or whatever does not cover an accident where you're operating your vehicle illegally, right? You are also in violation of your driver's license because you're transporting somebody for money. Do you have commercial insurance on your car that protects you and your business from getting into an accident while you're running a business? No. So you unfortunately have to pay that fully out of pocket. Now, that's why you shouldn't take cash rides. Ever. If somebody gets in your car and says, oh, hey, you know, can we log off the Uber app just to pay me cash instead? Don't do that. It's illegal and you're running a huge insurance risk. But the reason that's important is because when you're driving Uber and Lyft have the proper both license and insurance to allow that ride to happen. The whole transaction. You are now an Uber driver. You are now allowed to transport people in exchange for money on Uber's app. When you're driving Uber and you have a passenger in your car and you get into an accident, Uber has their insurance, right? You are insured as an Uber driver. Uber gives you insurance if you get into an accident. However, that's all great and dandy, right? But most typical insurance providers do not allow you to drive for Uber and for Lyft at all. Why? Because the average Uber driver puts on a lot of miles in their car. They're also running a business out of their car. And your normal insurance that you have at Geico probably is not covering you as a rideshare driver. Oh yeah, and you told them that, you know, when they ask you, what are you using your car for when you first sign up for insurance? You say, oh, commuting for work or whatever. They say, okay, how many miles are you putting in your car? Oh, 10,000 miles on my car every year. Whatever, fine, 5,000. Well, when you're driving rideshare, you're probably putting on more like 30, 40,000 miles a year. And you're also now using your car for business reasons. So your personal insurance, even though you might get into an accident not on the Uber and Lyft app, if your personal insurance finds out that you're driving rideshare, even though you weren't even on the app at the time, if they find out that you're a rideshare driver, and they have their ways, trust me. Oh, what, Dylan? A huge multi-million-dollar company has a way of finding out if I'm an Uber driver, Lyft driver? All this stuff's public, guys. The internet knows everything. Your data is out there. They know that you're driving rideshare. They'll find out. So if you get into a little fender bender and they have to go through insurance, if the insurance companies are smart, they're gonna find a way to find out if they don't have to pay for something, right? Why should they fork over 20 grand when you're violating their terms of service? So that's that reason. So technically, again, I'm not a lawyer or insurance provider, but I think technically as a rideshare driver, Uber and Lyft's insurance typically covers you. However, your personal insurance you're technically most likely violating your personal insurance's terms of service. Just simply driving rideshare, right? Because they're covering you for all these things while you're violating their terms of service. So that's why I highly recommend calling up your insurance company and saying, hey, you know what? I was thinking about driving for rideshare. I was thinking about becoming an Uber driver, part-time Uber driver, full-time Uber driver. What kind of insurance do I need? They might say, sorry, we don't do that. You're gonna have to go somewhere else. Okay, cool. Call up another place, call up another place, call up 5 places, call up 10 places. Write down their quotes, get a quote for each one. You can get a quote in 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Write them all down, take an hour out of your Saturday to do it, Monday, whatever. And that way, if you ever get into an accident, some of them, by the way, guys, are only an extra 10 bucks a month. Just to have that extra added on rideshare. It's not technically it's usually not rideshare insurance, it's a rideshare policy on your personal insurance. So as a personal driver, you know, normal insurance, they'll basically just add a note that you're driving a rideshare on the side. Because you're transporting people for money. That's the way it all comes back to the beginning, that at the end of the day, when you're driving Uber, you're transporting somebody in exchange for money. So yes, Uber and Lyft allow you to do that on their platform, but you're still, at the end of the day, you still have personal insurance apart from Uber and Lyft's insurance. Now, another word of caution. You might think, okay, great, if I get into an accident while I'm driving Uber and Lyft, I'll go through Uber and Lyft's insurance. If you talk to any driver who's ever been in an accident while driving Uber and Lyft, and they try to go through Uber and Lyft's insurance, Uber and Lyft, they actually, I believe they say on their website, I think I read that while I was doing my research, that they will contact your personal insurance first, and you have to upload your insurance document, you know, to be a driver. So they have all your info, they have all your policy numbers, everything. They can contact them in a second. They're gonna call them up and say, hey, you know, Dylan or whatever, Peter got into an accident while he was driving Uber. And they're gonna ask your personal insurance to cover that accident first. And usually what happens, I would say most drivers don't have rideshare insurance on their personal policies. Most insurance companies will immediately drop you. They will say, what? I didn't know Dylan was driving for Uber. He never told us that. So we're gonna drop him. All of a sudden, now you have no insurance. And Uber's insurance and Lyft's insurance, I forget which one, but one of them's $1,000 deductible, the other one's $2,500 deductible. You have to spend $2,500 just to go through Uber's insurance. And usually, for whatever reason, Uber and Lyft's insurance is like horrible. Like, you have to call them up like 5 times a day just to get them to do what they're supposed to do. So that's why, my friends, I mean, take this, it's a really complicated answer, but that's basically what you should know. So basically what you probably should do is call up your personal insurance company. If you take anything away, call them up and just talk to them and say, because I don't know, it literally will vary by state and by insurance company. I can't say, oh yeah, in Cincinnati, if you have a Geico, like, what am I gonna go through? I don't know. You have to call them up yourself. I know. Oh, Dylan, I gotta do some work myself too. Yep. Call up your personal insurance company, ask them if, you know, you're thinking about driving for Uber and Lyft, can I get a rideshare policy? Do you guys have that? What do I need to do? They'll be more than happy. They'll tell you what, you know, they'll tell you the answers. Call up, you know, call a bunch of places and ask them. Anyways, guys, I hope that made sense at the beginning of what I talked about transporting people for money and how your personal driver's license doesn't allow you to do that. But when you drive for Uber and Lyft, it does allow you to do that. That's why also you should never take unaccompanied minors, or just do anything that, I mean, if you have 6 people in your car, for instance, anytime you're violating Uber and Lyft's terms of service, this is actually a really, really good point. I think really good to end on too. If you're ever violating Uber and Lyft's terms of service, you know, you're picking up an underage passenger that's by themselves, or if you have too many people in your car, or what's another easy violation? Obviously, I guess speeding would be a violation of Uber's terms of service. I don't even know what else would be. I mean, those are the 2 common ones. Oh, taking cash for a ride. Yeah, if you're violating Uber and Lyft's terms of service, their insurance will not cover you when you get into an accident. and then you're gonna have to try to go through your personal insurance, and like I said before, they're probably not gonna cover you, so they're gonna say no, and then you have to pay all that money out of pocket. You're probably gonna have to go into debt if you don't have the cash to pay for that accident. God forbid somebody in your car gets hurt, you know, that's a lawsuit that you're probably gonna have to settle without any insurance. So that's why you also always want to follow all the rules. Never take cash for rides, never take unaccompanied minors, never take too many people in your car. Yeah, I mean, when you sign up for Uber and Lyft, they make it seem really simple, when in reality, for the driver, it's not. It's simple if you follow all the rules. I'll tell you that. It's simple if you follow the rules. But a lot of people don't talk about rideshare insurance, and I think it's important to have these discussions. So again, you might still have questions, so leave them down below in the comment section. I'll go through the questions and answer them to the best of my ability, or if I don't, I'll try to, you know, reference you to a website that explains that part better. And this is just what I know from my experience running the Rideshare Hub, being an Uber and Lyft driver for 2 years, doing gig apps, and yeah. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Again, comment down below if you have any more questions, and like this video, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this information in this video, and subscribe for more videos similar to this one. Let me know if you like this style of video where I basically just break down a question into more depth, because I know sometimes in other videos I touch on topics that are huge topics that I can't really get into in full length. So this is a full length. This is an example of me going into full depth of a simple question: should you have rideshare insurance? Thank you for watching. Have a great day, guys. Bye.